Alright everyone, everyone's been asking me to do a video of my network rack, so I figured I will do it. Let me get it open. Alrighty, so let's start at the top. I have a StarTech 8 outlet, a normal patch panel, but it's a Keystone one. The router I use, it's actually hidden, but it's a MikroTik RB3011. That's my Ubiquiti Cloud key. If we move down to the router, to the switch, sorry, it's a PoE switch. And it provides all the feeds to my 16 IP cameras. This is the PC right here that actually runs Blue Iris, which runs all the cameras. That's my cable modem. I currently get, I think, 150 megs from the ISP's Comcast. That is Samsung SmartThings. Down here I have a Philips Hue, and this is a Fling, I think is what it's called. It basically tells me everything about the network. This is my NAS. It's a Synology DS218 Plus, and that's just two fans basically. They're basically like the same fans that are up here. This PC right here, I got it for free, and I basically put it in this case. It's an AMD, it's an 8-core. I think it's got like 16 gigs of memory. It's got an ATI Series 9 R9 video card. It's really only used for a PC for the kids. They use it for general stuff. And basically, I ran a KVM for it, but the KVMs weren't 4K. They were only 1080p, so I just ran a 60-foot HDMI cable to the monitor, and that gives me everything. And then I have a Bluetooth and wireless keyboard and mouse, which work great. Over here, these are my APC UPSs. I got a 7000 and a 1000. I have another patch panel right here. So basically I took the cables which come way back there. My lighting's kind of bad. Let's see if I can get a flashlight. Yeah, this may work much better. So, wow, this GoPro, man, does not want to work with me today. So that's a patch panel. Basically, all the lines come up from the basement and feed into the back side of the patch panel, and then the patch panel feeds over to this patch panel. And I know people are going to say, why do you have so many patch panels? But the reason I did it is so this is on wheels, as you can tell. So when I roll this out, it allows me to bring it out 6 feet. Before, I felt like when I had the cables that came out of the basement directly into this, it just felt too restricted. So that's why I ran another patch panel. So now when I pull it out, it's much easier. So this is a 15U. Nav Point makes it. And does everything I need. At the top, it's got 2 fans that vent out. And that's what basically runs my whole house. Now, let me open this back up. I don't know why I closed it. Basically, I run a Ubiquiti Unify Access Point, the Pro. I just run one. It handles everything I need. I have the one cloud key, and the router, I was actually going to get in a Ubiquiti router, a cloud router, but for some reason the price of them is astronomical for a router. So I ended up picking up this Microtech one, and it's the newest model for this year. And it seems to work pretty good. The screen's a pretty nice feature on it, but I've had nothing but really issues with this router. I actually had to the point where I was remote access my Surface tablet, and I was trying to set up this PC here as FreeNAS, and I had it all set up running, and when I was trying to get the Plex server to work and remote access outside of the network, I went and logged into the router, and I literally added port forwarding for the Plex, what Plex was asking for, and I don't remember what the port was, but it was some weird port, and it crashed my network to the point where I had to leave where I was, come all the way home, factory reset the Microtech router, and then set it all back up. And then when I reset that, that means all the subnets all changed. I had to reset up everything. I had to make all 16 cameras pull all new IP addresses. I had to make them static. I had to add them to Blue Iris, and it was a complete nightmare. So when I got this all set up and moved into this area, I went back into the router and I mounted this PC here, and I set up port forwarding for software on my phone, so I could actually see what temperature the PC is running at, how much load is on the memory and on the CPU. And it kicked my Wi-Fi off as soon as I added the port forwarding. So I went into the port forwarding settings, and I emailed Microtech and said, this shouldn't be happening. I should be able to port forward without these issues. And they basically told me that because this router has got so many advancements in it, that when you port forward, you can actually pick which port. And if you notice, like, I got Ethernet 1, which feeds from the cable modem, and then Ethernet 2 feeds the PoE switch. So when you go into the port forwarding, you can set what ports you want. You have like Ethernet 1, which is the main port, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way over to 10. But if you're using the switch, you can do all. But then sometimes it's just so stupid. Like, I don't know what idiots work at Microtech that would develop their router-based OS, but it is a complicated piece of crap. So I'm actually thinking about just getting the cloud router from Ubiquiti, because for one, I can remote access into it with the Ubiquiti app because I have the cloud key, and I can get rid of this, the Fingbox. I really only got the Fingbox because I had Lumas, which is like Google Wi-Fi, and I had 4 of them, and anytime anyone accessed the network or did anything, it would notify me. So once I switched over to this commercial gear, it didn't tell me any of that, and there was really no way to do it to notify me if a new client was on. The email server and the SMS crap just didn't work. So I picked up this box, and it works. The best thing I like is this right here, is definitely the Synology. I tried to get a rack-mounted one, a 1U rack-mounted one, and they wanted almost $500 for it, for a 2-bay, when this one's a 2-bay, and this one was like $200. And I picked up a Western Digital Red, just a 4 terabyte right now. I got it used from Amazon. I'm gonna end up putting 2 12s in it and make it 24. I really needed better storage options for my photography photos so I can save them for longer. I was putting them on USB 3.0, Western Digital hard drives, and I lost a hard drive, and it had about 5 years worth of photos on it, and I could never ever recover that now. So I'm hoping this helps more. But that's all I use it for. That's it. I don't use it for Plex. I don't have any of that. I actually just set this up last night, and it gave me nothing but problems. I couldn't access it in the network. I couldn't mount it and map the network. It just would not work. And then Synology is probably the best NAS you can get, one of the best. But if you want to set this up with all the automatic settings, which is what most people want to do because it's just easier, you can't. If you use like a router I have, they did not have the MikroTik routers in there, and I even updated the list and they said you are updated. So that doesn't help me. They don't have Ubiquity. So like, is this thing more for consumers and to have consumer crappy routers? Like, I just don't get it. So I mean, it's fine for the time being. It's just not the best. I mean, it's working now, blah, blah, blah. So, and I just noticed, actually, that since I was just talking to you guys, here's the cable that comes in. I don't have it in a Keystone. It runs down here. I just realized that I'm plugged into this switch, which is an unmanaged PoE switch. It's not a gigabit switch. So I'm actually going to unplug it because it doesn't matter. I have a static IP, and I'm going to route it over here to Ethernet on this, because that is a gigabit now. So now I should be a lot faster. I was wondering why I was going slow.